So I've got a story for you again. With this, I just am trying to get across the point that if you start dating somebody, if you're in a new relationship and you see red flags, I want you to pay attention, because it's really important. You never really know what you're getting into. People seem really great at first, always, or otherwise you wouldn't be in a relationship with them or dating them. But I was in my late 20s, and I had just been really hurt by someone who I cared for very deeply. And there was no resolution, there was no way to make things work, and so I was sad. My self-esteem was low, I was bored. And I entered my information on one of the dating sites. It was Match.com. And that, if you've ever done that, it's interesting. I was just looking for new ways to meet people, didn't really know what to expect. And so I was trying new stuff. And I happened to meet this guy on there who seemed okay. So we talked on the phone a few times. Turns out he lived like literally down the street from me. He was older, he had a lot of cool stories. He seemed fun. He was very smart. Anyway, we ended up getting together really fast, against my better judgment. And at first it was something that I thought was fun, and within a couple of days, he was ready to jump into a relationship. And that took me by surprise, but I said, okay. It was just a bad idea. Never jump into a relationship with somebody that you don't know. And even if you sleep with them, don't jump into a relationship with somebody. But I found out almost immediately that he had lied online about things like his age and having a child. He had a child that he had not mentioned. There were just a lot of things. But I was willing to ignore that. I was young and he seemed okay. He was really cute. He was very charismatic. He was well liked. He had a sports car. There were a lot of seemingly good things about him. But once we were in a relationship, this guy started getting controlling really fast. He would call me and want to know where I was at. He would always want me over at his house, but was never willing to go over to my apartment ever. And even though we lived down the street from each other, and he seemed to constantly put me down, even though he made it sound like a joke. And it was very soul-crushing. It was not good for me. If I hadn't had self-esteem issues at the time, I would have known to run. But there was one night that I woke up to the sounds of him abusing his dog. I mean, just screaming and hitting the dog because the dog had peed in the house. That was really scary. It was frightening. I did know that he had been abused as a child. And I saw that had carried over to the way he treated animals. Finally, a friend of mine, a male friend of mine, told me that he had heard that this guy had been abusive to his ex-wife when they were married. And I took that information, and within a few days of that, I broke it off with him. I used the, it's not me, it's you. I need time to find myself and do my own thing and need time to myself excuse, and I got the hell out of there. I had already brought a lot of stuff over to his house. I left a lot of things. I took what I could. I just get out. I never called him again, never took any phone calls from him, never made any more contact. Basically, he was crazy. He was scary. Not only had I heard him abusing an animal that he dearly loved, by the way, treated this animal like he was gold, but was abusive to this animal. That was really, really scary. But he also treated me badly. He was verbally abusive already, and God knows what he would have been if I had stuck around to find out. We were in a relationship for 2.5 months, and I made the mistake of sleeping with him way too fast, which, don't do that either. We all learn. Anyway, if you find yourself in a relationship or dating someone new and you see red flags, if you see that they're controlling, if you see that they are potentially abusive anyway, like, hitting an animal, screaming at an animal, abusing an animal over something very small, anything, hitting you, hitting the wall, anything that shows that they might lose their temper and be physically harmful, you need to jet. If they say negative things to you, if they tear you down, if they gaslight you, if you see signs of verbal abuse or emotional abuse, you need to run. One night I was staying at his house towards the end of our relationship, our short-lived relationship, and I got sick. I found out the next day from the doctor I had a stomach virus, but I was so sick, throwing up, that I could not even get back to my own house. I could barely get off the couch. Every time I moved, I got sick. What a lot of people would take as an opportunity to be kind and caring and nurturing, he just acted mad towards me. He was mean, he was cold, there was no sympathy there. He was uncaring, unnurturing, and it made me feel so bad. Much worse than I already did. This is not how someone acts if they love you. If you have someone who shows no emotion towards you, big sign here. Big sign. That's what I got from this guy. If you are in a relationship with someone or dating someone, thinking of dating someone who you've ever seen abusive towards an animal, that's also a big sign. Anybody that abuses an animal is not wired right. An animal or a person, obviously, but even something that seems not such a big deal to some people, like hitting an animal, yelling at an animal, kicking an animal, like this person that I was with did, that just made me absolutely sick. He abused an animal that he loved, that he brought everywhere with him, that he talked about all the time. Obviously, he was not wired right. This was a very big sign. If you see someone being abusive towards an animal, a person, a child, hitting a wall, big sign, you need to go. It's only going to get worse. People don't abuse animals. People that are mentally sound, not abusive, they don't hit or kick or scream at animals. They don't do that. These are not normal behaviors. Normal people do not hit others. They don't put other people down. They don't get in their faces. They don't tear them down, call them names, make fun of them. These are not normal behaviors. If you are in a relationship with someone and this is already happening to you, you need to get out of there. Years later, looking back, it's been a long time. It's been almost 15 years. Realizing that I put myself in a position with someone who had such a scary temper and rage issue, who could have potentially been abusive to me, it's frightening. I literally walked into it with my eyes open. I knew signs to look out for, and I just didn't see it with this person. You have to pay attention to the signs. Follow your instinct, follow your gut. If something tells you that there's something wrong, there probably is. Please listen to your intuition, and if you feel like you're in something that could potentially be dangerous, I need you to walk away. Do this for yourself. You are worth it. You deserve better. You deserve someone to treat you well, to be there, who's kind, caring, and compassionate, who does not hit you, who does not call you names, who's not controlling and abusive. You can do this. Until next time.